Hey everybody, know it's been a while. Uh, Lots been going on. I just wasn't sure when I would have enough to really make a fun video. But hey, the last few weeks have been pretty busy. So um, over the course of the last 2, 3 months, not a lot happened. I did go to another hot springs that was up north. That was pretty fun. It's kind of out of the way in the mountains somewhere. That's where I got this, and I think it looks pretty snazzy. uh, as far as other things, school's still going great. Weather's been nicer this summer than most others. It's been raining a lot, which has kept the temperature down. Now, like the last 2, 3 days, I was sweating rivers, but today was nice, and we're heading off into the autumn months, so things should be nice and cool for the remainder of this year, hopefully. The typhoon didn't sweep me away. Yay. Yeah, it hit her. It hurt harder further south than here, so no need to worry about that. But anyway, on to the fun stuff. Last week, I went to the Misawa Air Show along with another ALT named Chris, and it was a comedy of errors, but we still had a lot of fun. Um, like before he even left, he was gonna bring me a couple of things. I won't go into details. He forgot to bring them, and also he forgot to bring some camera stuff that we didn't realize till much later. When he got here, we he was like 5 minutes in the door. We were figuring out if we were gonna go eat somewhere when my neighbor and another ALT popped in and was like, "Hey, let's do karaoke," and we're like, well, okay, I guess we're doing karaoke. So we stayed out until like 1 o'clock, and then we stayed up another hour watching Netflix because we were still kind of wound up from karaoke. So we woke up the next day around 9 or so, pretty dang tired, or at least I was. I can't speak for Chris. Um, so, but we had fun with karaoke as always. Got to show him around town a little. From there, we drove to Misawa, which is about hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere around there from here. And the trip actually went pretty well, like no incidents. But when we got to Misawa, basically all the parking was taken for like, I don't know, like 10 miles around the base. So, well, maybe not that much. It was still like a 20-minute drive to a park near the station to find a parking place. And we were kind of nervous that, I mean, there weren't any like don't park here signs, but it was still like, it wasn't a normal parking area. So we were concerned that we'd get a ticket or something if somebody found us. But luckily that didn't happen. But still, from the way out of the way parking lot, it would have been like a 30, 45 minute walk to the base. So we go to the bus stop at the station, and there's a couple of like shuttle buses coming and going, but we didn't see where they were going to. Like, it just was a big green bus with Japanese writing on it that we couldn't read. We think now that they were probably going to the Misawa base, but we weren't sure, so we didn't ever just jump on one. And we looked up when the normal buses were traveling, and one was going to nearby, like a couple blocks from the Misawa base. So we're like, okay, we'll wait and get on that one. We wait, and we're all kind of like, well, should we not, for the shuttle bus every time it comes by. And bus supposed to arrive, it's late, which makes sense. Traffic was really bad everywhere. But at that point, I made an executive decision: taxi. So get in there. It's like $10, and we make it to the airbase, like directly at the gate. Oh, as long as we're talking about money, that's another thing that was wrong. My Japanese bank card died the night before, so I could not get any money out of my Japanese bank account. I still had my US debit card, so I got $100 out from my American account, which was all I was brave enough to get out because I don't put money in there, so I don't like taking money out unless I have to. So I did that. We make it there, we get on the base, and the base is significantly larger than we expected. Like, we go through security and everything, And the soldiers are nice and polite. And there's some American soldiers and some Japanese soldiers, and we sign, papers saying, where we are. We not don't have COVID, whatever. And we go to the concessions area, which is like another 10-15 minute walk from the gate to there. And they have a lot of stuff. And we were like, yes, great. They have Taco Bell. They have like Philly cheese sandwich place. They have Burger King burgers. They have like three other things that I don't remember off the top of my head. And then they also have some like non-restaurant stuff. Like they had Jack Link's beef jerky and real Cheetos and stuff. And we're like, oh, this is all so good. But it's like 1 o'clock and we don't want to carry all this stuff around with us to the show and back. And we're not very hungry because we did grab like a bite to eat on the drive up, which we left at like 10. I know I'm kind of jumping around a lot, but like I'm trying to give relevant information as needed. So we decide, okay, we will just leave the last show a little early, come back, get our food. So we walk and walk and walk, and it's like another 15-20 minute walk from the concession area to the airstrip. And there are so many people. There's like easily 4,000 or 5,000 people, I would say. And this tarmac or airstrip, whatever you want to call it, is massive as well. And they have planes and like Jeeps with rocket launchers and stuff all over the place that you can look at. And we just start like, okay, we'll turn to the right, we'll go down here and we'll see everything, and we walk and walk and walk. We do see like a cute little mascot they had that looked kind of like a air control tower with a face. It looked cute and at the same time kind of disconcerting. I snuck a quick picture. I'll put it up on Facebook. Maybe I'll edit it in a video somewhere. I'm not sure. So we kept walking, and we finally get towards about the end of that, and we turn back, and we realized we've only like walked maybe a quarter of this airstrip, and so we walked back just as the actual air show was starting at like 1:30 or something. And it's a really cool air show. I was really enjoying it because I've always been a fan of planes and stuff, but I wasn't sure how much I would get into it since like I've never been around planes IRL. It's always been like camera angles inside and everything. I'm like, I don't know if it'll be that interesting just watching them zoom around. And it really was because they were doing like aileron turns and high banking and high speed passes and low speed like do 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 kind of things. It is really fun just watching these aircraft zip around and do these tricks for like an hour. And then we realize at that point, oh, this only goes until 3. We should probably start making our way back. But there's a long line of souvenirs and stuff. I'm like, okay, we'll just go down this way and get a souvenir or two as we're making our way back. And we do get a couple souvenirs. I get a like little patch from some team air squad unit or whatever called the Gunslinger Vikings, which I got purely for the name. It's a lot of fun. And he got a couple of stickers like danger ejector seat and stuff he wants to put on his car or somewhere. But we kept walking and walking and expecting it to turn back, and it just didn't. And so by the time we got to the end, it was like almost 3. It was like 2:45 or something. And the show is about over, and everybody starts to leave. And we're like, oh no, we're on the wrong side, and we are not going to make it back in time for the... So we just start kind of power walking, hoping to make it back in time. We do grab like some marshmallows dipped in chocolate and graham cracker to be like a mini s'more. That one dude was just, it wasn't at a stand, it was just a dude like, got marshmallows on a stick, 100 yen. So like $1 basically. And like, we snatch them up because by this point we're starving. Like, bad choices were made. But we power walk, and I'm sweating and exhausted. And we get there, and everything, just as we got there, the last stand was getting packed up and put away. And we're like, no, mission failed. We'll get them next time. But we're like, oh well. So we go to outside the base, On the way out, we're like looking at the map, trying to figure out, okay, what's the easiest way back to that station? Where are the shuttle buses at? And we ask some soldiers on the base. They don't know. Um, we we finally noticed like a little symbol way on the other side of the base, like on the tarmac, and that we didn't notice the whole time before. And we're like, oh, if we'd have just gotten on the shuttle bus, we'd have been right there. But alas, next time, which is basically the motto of this whole trip. We'll do better next time. We'll go the day before, book a hotel, just go straight from the hotel to the airbase and do all the things. But anyway, we make it outside the base, and at this point, we're just like, we need to buy something out of spite more than anything. Or at least that was my opinion. So we go into a local market area that has a bunch of different stuff, like a secondhand store and army surplus and what have you. And it also had like a grocery store that was basically same kind of stuff you would find at like Costco or whatever. So it had some American goods. Only it wasn't at Costco prices. This was all pretty expensive for how much we got. But we each got a 32 pack thing of Dr. Peppers that was not put together very well. It was just the cardboard bottom and then plastic on top. So it was very awkward to carry. And we're just like two Americans checking out of this long line and then carrying these cases of Dr. Pepper like further across the area so we can get some actual food at a little stand. And then 4 or 5 blocks to the bus station we found, missing the bus station and going past it and coming back, and then realizing it was on the other side of the street and going across again and around. So we carried it more like 6 or 7 blocks. And we're tired, my back's hurting, and we just kind of collapse and eat our food. And eventually the bus does come, like a couple minutes late, but not bad. And we make it back to the car. And we're not even done yet. So we go to a Pizza Hut on the way back, thinking, that'll be our dinner. Because that was our lunch. We just had a very small amount of chicken and fries and whatever else we got. And lo and behold, we go inside. The menu does not have a pepperoni pizza on it. Like, it has a couple of specialty things that we probably could have eaten, but no pepperoni anywhere on the menu or things with pepperoni on it. And we had our hearts set on that. So we're just like, well, screw it. And I was extra annoyed because I've been to that Pizza Hut before. It used to have a Meat Lover's pizza that had pepperoni and hamburger and like something else on it. So I was upset that they changed the menu since the last time I've been there. But I look up some other places. We considered Domino's. That would have been another like 15 minutes out of our way. But we're like, nah, screw it. There's a pizza place in town. We'll get some stuff there. So we go back home. We almost get to Coogee, and the little Chris is driving, and the phone tells him to exit left. And it meant the next exit, because there's like a little false exit right as you come into Coogee that like is just for like, I don't know what it's for, but at the bottom there's a gate, like a big iron gate that you cannot pass through. So Chris goes down it, and I'm like, no, not that one. And he's like, what? And I'm like, oh, well. So we go down, because I didn't know the gate was there. I just knew it wasn't the exit we needed to get off on. And we get to the bottom, we're like, what do we do now? I'm like, well, you gotta back up. And so he's backing up his best, and he's like, because it's a curve, and it's hard you can't just back up straight. You have to like adjust. And so we were both kind of nervous as he's backing up onto the highway. But luckily, by this point in the day, it's like 6 or something, and the traffic's not very significant, especially coming into Coogee. And we get off, and we go to the pizza place, 10-4, and we finally order our pizzas. By this point, I don't have much money left, so I get a smaller pizza, and they do have like a non-pepperoni one I want, and he gets a pepperoni. And so we wait for like 20 minutes, get our pizza, go back to my apartment, eat our pizza, and just kind of laugh at how absurd the day has been. We had a lot of fun, we chatted a lot, we had a good time, but my word, it felt like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. By the end of the day, I had like $20 in my pocket, and just no Taco Bell, none of any of that. So after that, he heads home, and we just both decompress, I suppose. Um, so that was last week, or the weekend before last. This last weekend was the Autumn Festival, which was pretty cool. A lot more straightforward of event. Just a lot of food stands out and these huge, beautiful floats that the city had made and set up around town you could take pictures of. I don't know if usually they like go through town or whatever, but this time they were all stationary, set up in different like spots around like different parking areas. And I will definitely put those pictures up on Facebook as well. I will try to splice them in at the end of the video here as well. I don't really have a good video editing software, but it's real cool. So basically everybody in the area came up to see the floats and hang out and chat, and we went out to eat and had horse meat and whatever else we had, as well as normal chicken and sushi and stuff. And we just had a lot of fun. So, and I got to wear this out and about, which I don't usually get to do because normally they have normal clothes. So that was fun. Trying to think of anything else particularly pertinent, but no, I think that's been the bulk of my interesting topics as of right now. So hope you enjoyed. Had a couple days off this week for various things, so I only have to work 2 days this week. So yay! So everybody have fun. See you around. Bye.